Hello there. Thanks for joining me today. I hope that you're having as good a time in isolation as I am, because I'm having an amazing time. I treated myself to a Kim Jong-gi course. It's like a course where he teaches anatomy and perspective and these kinds of things. And I got it from kazone.com, whatever the name of the site is, and it was money well spent. I've been working out in the mornings, watching, Kim Jong-gi draw and talk about drawing. It's so cool. It's really, really cool. So anyway, that's what I've been doing. I hope yours has been awesome too. And I understand if it hasn't been, this is a rough time for everybody. I guess even me, but I'm happy in isolation. Artists tend to be like that. Introverts, people who have, like my home is like my studio and I'm having a great time. I'm a little nervous because as soon as I get in front of the camera, I get nervous. And so my voice goes all funny. I'm trying not to be, but maybe I can just imagine my audience being naked. Maybe not. No, that's not a good idea. But anyway, I got something cool for you today. What I have is, it's portrait number 2 of the Girl Portrait series, 2 of 5. And this one came out all right. So let's see. I should start off by saying it's from reference. So the reference was, I'm going to post it on the bottom here. Anastasia, she's an Instagram model, or I saw her on Instagram. She's a model, period. And she's really good. And I actually found her through another artist that I follow. And I'm going to post her as well, just because, I'm going to be honest about the references. So, I'm doing drawings of girls, something that I thought I would never actually do. And here's why. It's because I'm an art snob.
He is such an art snob, such an art snob.
Oh, what an art snob. He's so snobby, snobby guy.
All right, so this is episode number 11, and this is female portrait number 2 in a series of 5, where I'm just going to deal with a female portrait and make it good. So here it starts, and this is in Clip Studio. So I'm really new to Clip Studio, and I stopped this video several times, this time lapse here, and edited out all the times that I was learning new things, like for instance the shortcuts. The shortcuts you learn on Photoshop and the shortcuts on Clip are different, but you can customize Clip Studio all to blazes. So I was learning how to do that quite a bit, this here it's starting. I'm roughing in with soft brushes because the soft brushes give me a lot of tones. So I tried to make this very different than the reference photo, even though it's just a study. Even though it's just a study and not necessarily for me a legitimate work of art, I still want to have some kind of originality to it. So what I was looking for when I was eyeballing reference photos was something that had some shadow to it and some sense of drama and light. So as I'm putting it all together here, it's all about setting the stage for the final moment, which is why I chose the image and what I was going for from the very beginning, which was something very specific. I like to have one particular thing, that the rest of the artwork is there to show. I was watching Sean Gordon Murphy talking about the 70-30 rule the other day, and it was great. It was the way the 70-30 rule is about the 70% of the work, whatever you're doing, is going to be either light or dark, and then it's meant to bring out that 30% of the frame. So you're just setting the stage for a moment, and so much of the artwork is about that. So the thing that you notice is, that's intentional. So you're painting and you're drawing with intentionality. It's a really, really powerful way to work and kind of mature, you know. So yeah, I've been following a lot of really good artists, Sean Gordon Murphy being one of them, also Jason Sean Alexander, Kim Jong-gi, and a bunch of other comic artists. Of course, the whole thing going on with EVS and Doug TenNapel, which is, you know, I follow both of them and I like both of them, and I think they both make good points as well. But really, I'm learning a ton from these people, watching all these live streams and videos from the YouTube verse, we'll call it. So anyway, where are we here with the painting? Yeah. So the background. Yeah, I made my own background, nice and dark, for her face, and then this is one of the moments here. So what I'm trying to do is set the stage for the final moment, which is the drama of the light on the edge of her face and the hair dangling in front of her face and kind of over and around. So it's the detail of that. So the rest of the work is meant to bring that out. And there's some other things that suffered in the painting because of that. I could have definitely used more color in her face, for instance, different kinds of color contrasts. But that takes, you know, a fair amount of time and effort to do when, you know, time is of the essence, and I had to get this video out. So I'm not making excuses. No, I am making excuses. Whatever. The painting could have been better, but it's not bad. And I think when you see the hair come out in front of the face, it's really, really quite effective, I think. So one of my artists' influences these days is Mel Milton, and he calls these girls, he calls them dookies. He's going to turn out a duke. In other words, you know, taking a shit, right? But he's a funny character, that guy. And I like that he's that forthright about his, you know, women portraits and whatnot, and just doing these kinds of things. Even though see, I don't want to be an art snob, right? And because I respect the fact that he knows that when you're just doing a portrait of a pretty girl, that's what it is. It's a portrait of a pretty girl. It's not super profound or meaningful or anything like that. But at the same time, when you do it really well, it's not necessarily a duke, you know? So he's being kind of self-deprecating using that term, but I still think it's really endearing, and I like the guy for that. Plus, he can paint like there's no tomorrow. Man, that guy is smooth. He's really, really smooth. So this is my first crack at her, this eye here. And I didn't notice as I was doing it, but her eye is a little bit droopy and low. And I fixed that up later on. But it's not awful. It's just I didn't notice it at first. And then as the painting was just about done, I noticed it and then corrected it. And that comes at the end in another couple of minutes. I'm having a lot of fun here with the tones on the face and on the cheek. And I'm smoothing out all the rough brushwork. Eventually, I'm going to have my favorite selection of brushes. But right now, I'm just figuring out stock clip studio. I'm also having a lot of fun with the foreshortening here and the angle, trying to get the angle of her shoulders right. I think I'm going to raise up that forward shoulder there momentarily because it's a little low and it's also a little small, so her head looks kind of big on her body right now. I found that I was fixing up the proportion problems right to the end of the painting, which is why digital art is so great, because when you do that with an actual painting, it's murder. It's so demoralizing when you've put all this work into a part of the painting that you got to paint over and fix up. So being able to do this and move things around is great. It is truly, truly wonderful. Yeah, there we go. See, that's so much better with the shoulder up higher, a little bit more, so you can see that the angle that this is taken from is lower. So there's some perspective in her shoulders. And her ear was too far back. It's another one of my common mistakes when I draw is the ear doesn't come out of the jaw. It actually overlaps the jaw. So the lobe comes in from the jawline. And I've always drawn just jawline into the ear, and the ears always were too far back, and I always wondered what was wrong. And it's funny, you only figure out that stuff after drawing, over and over and over again. Over the course of years, you start to iron out all the funny things that you do. I love hearing Kim Jong-gi talk about that. He's very honest, and I appreciate that, because someone that talented and amazing to be able to tell you, the things about their artwork that they're not happy about. That honesty is just, it's very refreshing. It's very nice, So here I go doing some scribbles on the hair, but I'm getting a little bit too overzealous. I'm starting to take the focus away from what the final moment is going to be. So I go back over this very shortly in all the detail in her hair to take down the visual interest a little bit. Yeah, see, I'm getting used to the brushes too. These watercolor brushes are really nice. Just the stock brushes alone in Clip I'm very impressed with. They were great. Oh yeah, one thing that's interesting here is in her hair, I'm using warm tones and cool tones of the same, and that's something I haven't really done up to this point. Is when you use color, and whenever you have a lot of one color, you move from a cool version of that color to a warm color of that same. So in the darker areas there's some blue, and in the lighter areas there's some orange, so it moves from cool to warm in terms of the complementary. And here is why I did the painting in the first place. The hair coming in front of the face and the light shining on it. It's a nice moment. Of course, with digital painting, you can rotate and flip, which is wonderful. I'm changing her earring here. This is my own earring design. And I realized later on that if she's wearing a pink or peach dress or whatever it is she's wearing, she's not going to have a blue earring. Her earrings are going to match the dress. I don't think like a girl. I was thinking, the earrings kind of match her eye and they match the background. And it's like, no. You got to make the earrings, you got to make the ensemble work, think like a girl. So I fixed that up momentarily here. See, here I go smoothing out the hair so it's not so distracting. Yeah, we're nearing the end, and at this point I'm just troubleshooting. I realize at this point that her eye is a little funny, and the cheek there. I wanted to put some more color into the cheeks and accentuate the planes a little bit, but it was so smooth and nice, and to get back in and mess it up, I figured it was a wasted effort, since the focal point of this was, again, not the cheek of the face. So here I am fixing up the eye a little bit, smoothing it out, putting in those eyelashes. There, looks a little better. And of course now we make the earring match the dress, and boom, there you have it. Yeah, as Mel Milton would say, it's a Duke. So there you go. Thanks for joining me today. I will see you again next week, probably sooner. I'm going to post another video this week of a self-portrait. So stick around, click subscribe. You're not going to be inundated with politics or religion. We're going to keep this nice and smooth and fun, and that's the way it goes. After 11 episodes, I'm kind of coming into my own. So thanks for joining me. Have a good one. Bye now.